Something is watching you. It has been watching, in one form or another, for over 80 million years. It has no mercy. It has no fear. And right now, it is hunting. What you are about to witness is not a myth, not a legend, not a monster from a movie. This is real. This is the Komodo dragon. And this is what it does. Somewhere in the Indonesian archipelago, tucked between the Indian Ocean and the Flores Sea, there is an island that time forgot. It has no shopping malls, no highways, no tourist resorts. Just 8 kilometers of jungle, volcanic rock, and dry savanna baking under a merciless equatorial sun. Its name is Komodo Island, and it belongs to them. Komodo Island sits within the Lesser Sunda Islands of eastern Indonesia. It is part of Komodo National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that spans roughly 1,800 square kilometers of land and sea. The landscape looks primeval. Brown, parched hills tumble down to black sand beaches. Thorny forest gives way to patches of savanna. Waterholes shimmer in the heat. And everywhere, hidden beneath the shade of a tree, coiled in the long grass, drifting through the undergrowth with the patience of a glacier, there are Komodo dragons. Over 2,000 of them live on this island alone. For the other animals that share this place, deer, wild boar, water buffalo, every single day is a question of survival. The story of how Komodo dragons came to exist is one of the most dramatic tales in all of natural history. For decades, scientists believed these giant lizards evolved in isolation on their island. Cut off from the world, they grew to monstrous size, a phenomenon called island gigantism. But in 2009, fossil hunters in Queensland, Australia, made a discovery that flipped everything we thought we knew on its head. They found Komodo dragon fossils in Australia, millions of years old, not the other way around. The Komodo dragon did not evolve on Komodo Island. It evolved on an ancient continent, and then it migrated. As sea levels rose and Australia's giant Ice Age animals vanished, these creatures retreated to the only refuge left, the islands of what is now Indonesia. Komodo Island became their last stronghold, their final kingdom. For centuries, Komodo Island was known only to local fishermen. They whispered stories about it, stories of a land crocodile, of a creature so powerful it could swallow a goat whole, of men who had gone to the island and never returned. The outside world dismissed these as sailors' tales. Then, in 1910, a Dutch colonial officer named Lieutenant van Stein van Hensbroek decided to find out the truth. He sent hunters to the island. They came back with a photograph. The scientific world was stunned. The creature in that photograph looked like something that should have been extinct for 65 million years. They named it Varanus komodoensis. But the world would come to know it simply as the Komodo dragon. And once people saw what it could do, the name made perfect sense. Stand next to a Komodo dragon, and your body does something instinctive, something primal. It tells you to run, and that instinct is absolutely correct. The largest Komodo dragons in the world can grow to 3 meters long. That is 10 feet, the length of a full-sized car. They can weigh over 70 kilograms. Some exceptionally large males have been recorded at nearly 90 kilograms. That is heavier than most adult men. Their legs are short but devastatingly powerful. When a Komodo dragon runs, and yes, they can run, it reaches speeds of up to 20 kilometers per hour in short bursts. That is faster than most people can sprint. Their claws are thick, curved, and razor-sharp, used for gripping prey, for tearing flesh, for digging. Each claw is like a small blade attached to an arm that can deliver hundreds of kilograms of force. Their tail is equally massive, nearly half their body length, and they use it as a weapon. A single sweep of that tail can knock a fully grown man off his feet. But all of this, the size, The speed, the claws, the tail is just the beginning. Watch a Komodo dragon for long enough, and you will notice something strange. Its tongue never stops moving. It flickers out, touches the air, pulls back, over and over and over again. That tongue is not tasting the air the way you might lick a finger to test the wind. It is doing something far more sophisticated. The Komodo dragon's tongue is a biological sensor of extraordinary precision. Each flicker collects microscopic chemical particles from the environment. These particles are then transferred to a special organ in the roof of its mouth, called Jacobson's organ. In an instant, the brain processes the information, and the dragon knows. It knows if prey passed through this area hours ago. It knows the direction the animal traveled. It knows if that animal is injured, healthy, old, or young. A Komodo dragon can detect the scent of blood from up to 11 kilometers away. 11 kilometers. That is roughly the distance you could walk in 2.5 hours. And once it picks up that signal, it doesn't stop. For over 100 years after the Komodo dragon was discovered, scientists believed its killing power came from its mouth bacteria. The theory went like this. The dragon's mouth was so filthy, so packed with rotting meat and toxic bacteria, that a single bite would cause a fatal infection in any animal within days. It was a compelling story. Dramatic, easy to understand. It was also mostly wrong. In 2009, the same year those Australian fossils were found, a researcher named Brian Fry made a discovery that rewrote the book on Komodo dragons. He studied the structure of the dragon's lower jaw under advanced imaging technology. What he found stunned the scientific community. Komodo dragons are venomous. Hidden between the teeth and the lower jaw are 2 glands that produce a powerful venom. This venom has multiple effects on a victim's body simultaneously. It prevents blood from clotting. It drops blood pressure rapidly. It induces shock, and it causes muscle paralysis. When the dragon bites, its serrated teeth, 60 of them shaped like shark teeth, replaced constantly throughout its life, create massive wounds. Venom floods into those wounds instantly. The prey begins to bleed. It cannot stop bleeding. Its blood pressure collapses. It goes into shock, and then it falls. There is something else about the Komodo dragon's skin that science only recently uncovered, and it is extraordinary. Beneath the visible surface of their scales, Komodo dragons have a layer of tiny bones called osteoderms, hundreds of thousands of them, embedded in the skin like natural chainmail. These osteoderms form as the dragon ages. By the time a Komodo dragon is fully mature, its skin has become a flexible suit of biological armor. This armor serves 2 purposes. It protects the dragon in fights with other Komodo dragons, which can be savage and violent, and it makes the animal extraordinarily difficult to injure. You are looking at a living, breathing tank, powerful enough to kill a water buffalo, fast enough to catch a deer, venomous enough to bring down prey 10 times its size, armored against attack, and patient enough to wait for exactly the right moment to strike. The sun rises over Komodo Island, and with the first light, the island's ecosystem comes alive. Deer move through the clearings. Water buffalo drift toward the waterholes. Birds call in the canopy overhead. It looks peaceful, almost idyllic. But nothing on this island is safe, and somewhere close by, the hunt has already begun. Komodo dragons are what biologists call ambush predators. They do not chase their prey across miles of open ground. They do not organize into packs. They do not call to each other. They wait. A Komodo dragon can lie in exactly the same position for hours on end. Its body temperature is regulated by the sun, so it positions itself carefully in a patch of shade near a trail, or beside a waterhole, or in tall grass near a feeding area. Every few minutes, that tongue flickers out, sampling, testing, checking. And when the chemical signature of prey drifts into range, carried on a breath of wind, or lifted from a footprint in the dust, something changes. The dragon's eyes sharpen, its body tenses. It is no longer resting. It is ready. What happens next is a masterclass in predatory efficiency. The dragon moves. Slowly at first, so slowly that an observer standing 20 meters away might not even notice. Its body is low to the ground. Its footsteps make almost no sound. Its coloration, sandy brown, olive green, dusty gray, blends perfectly with the dry terrain. It has been doing this for 80 million years. It is very, very good at it. It uses the terrain like a chess player uses the board, moving behind a ridge, pausing behind a bush, waiting for the wind to shift before it takes another step forward. The prey animal, a deer, let us say, a young one, feeding on dry grass near a waterhole, has no idea. It has not seen anything. It has not heard anything. It has sensed nothing at all. And that is exactly what the dragon wants. The dragon closes to within a few meters. 15, 10, 8. Then, in a single explosive millisecond, everything changes. The Komodo dragon does not creep forward anymore. It launches. Its powerful legs drive it forward with shocking acceleration. Its jaws open wide, 60 serrated teeth gleaming, saliva trailing. The deer has exactly one fraction of a second to react. Often, that is not enough. The dragon's jaws slam shut on the deer's leg, its flank, its throat. The serrated teeth tear through skin and muscle like a serrated blade through soft wood. The venom begins to flow immediately. The deer screams. It tries to run. It twists, kicks, fights.